Hello, my name is Damien Callan and this is the first in a series of videos on colour. I'm going to begin with a demonstration of this painting of two oranges as an introduction to the idea of mixing colours using complementary pairs. When you've watched the video, you might like to try and set up similar fruit yourselves and try the exercise of beginning with the complementary pair of orange and blue. So we begin with a colour wheel, an arrangement of the spectrum of colours such that the colours opposite each other are complementary colours. So here blue and orange have been highlighted. Two things to know about complementary colours: when you put them side by side, they excite each other or clash. When you mix them together, they neutralise each other or cancel out each other's colours. And that's going to be very relevant to what we go on to do here, using cadmium orange and ultramarine to paint not only the light parts of the fruit, but also the shadows. So by adding these opposite complementary colours, I'm going to neutralise or make less colourful the areas of the orange which are in shadow. So I've begun by mixing a grey, again just using the two colours and some white, and using that to tint my canvas so that I'm not working on a white surface. Then I've made a slightly darker mixture of the blue and the orange, a sort of brown grey, and I'm just going to sketch out the outline of my subjects. I've used a thin brush and I've diluted the paint a little bit so that it's nice and fluid for drawing. This is going to be a guide for blocking in the areas of colour. I've put my fruit onto a piece of cardboard and sat them by a window, so we've got some nice light areas, shadow areas, and some shadows cast onto the cardboard surface. The first thing I'm doing is mixing cadmium orange and white, and I'm attempting to match the lighter areas of the orange, looking with my eyes half closed. And then again a mixture of cadmium orange and ultramarine, a little bit of white, and comparing it with the shadow areas, and that I do with less success. So I've added a third colour to my palette. You'll see a little bit of cadmium red on the left, and this mixture of blue and orange with a touch of cadmium red is coming closer to that shadow mixture. So I've started with opposite colours, blue and orange, but I'm extending my range a bit. Now my filming went wrong here a bit and I filmed the wrong bit, so that I've blocked in the shadow areas and I've blocked in the light areas of the fruit, and you can see they're beginning to be modelled in 3 dimensions, although the colours still need some refinement. These are provisional colours to begin with. The next stage, I am going to block in something for the background, the piece of cardboard, and the shadows cast on the cardboard by the fruit. Again, I'm using still the ultramarine and the orange with varying degrees of white. There's a little bit more blue in the shadow as well as less white, and a bit more orange and a bit more white in the lighter areas. So this is showing in a way the subtlety of just these two colours, with possibly an addition of the red, as I've explained, is giving me this range from the less colourful cardboard to the more colourful areas of orange and the darker shadow colours. Now I think I want a softer transition between the light and shadow areas of the orange, and so again with the cadmium orange, the ultramarine, and a bit of cadmium red, I'm making a sort of transitional bridging colour to soften that move from the light areas of the fruit to the shadow areas. And I'm painting those, bridging the light and shadow. And that's improving the colour and improving the subtle modelling of the fruit. Now I've added another colour to my palette, a little bit of cadmium yellow, and together with cadmium orange, cadmium yellow and white, I'm going to make a warm white to represent the highlights on these fruit. So I've done things in a particular order. I've blocked in light and shade on the fruit. I've surrounded it with the negative shape of the background. And now I'm refining these colours with highlights. The next colour is a kind of reflected light colour. So parts of the orange in the shadow side are slightly more orange as the light bounces off the table or off the cardboard. And again, these are subtle variations, still just using my orange, blue and a little bit of red. That's helped a lot, and now I've decided to improve on the lighter parts of the fruit. And so that again is orange and white, but a little bit more red. So it's becoming a bit of a red-orange, and there's a better harmony now between the light parts of the fruit and the shadow areas. I have one more go here at improving the highlights. I've used a very thin brush there and it's not so successful. I'm picking up more paint with the bigger brush. So there I've just topped up some of the highlights, and I'm going to complete the sort of refinement of these objects by mixing a particular colour for the stems of the fruit. So I've made a sort of grey-green, a darker grey-green and a lighter grey-green, again by using some of the cadmium yellow. And again, it's right to be doing this at this stage. This is dealing with details and the smaller refinements. And the last and perhaps quite striking refinement is to adjust the background colour. So I've introduced a little bit of yellow to that beige brown that I began with for the cardboard background, and that's really helped harmonise the whole painting.